I've got some good news for you. The good news is that Bitcoin and the crypto market have clearly become less correlated to the stock market. We've been trading sideways for months while stocks have been extremely volatile. And even today, stocks are up a bit. But the bad news is that we're decorrelating to the downside. Bitcoin obviously dropping. A lot of people believe it's a result of what's happening, the clash of the titans between Sam Bankman-Fried and CZ. Now, there's a lot of FUD and very little fact. So as usual, I like to try to save my comments until we actually know what's going on. But the theme of today, being that it's Tuesday, is trading. So we're going to take a look at that FTT chart, the Bitcoin, Ethereum charts, and whatever my guest today, CryptoISO, wants to share. Every time I bring this guy on, we have a huge audience. I know you guys all love him. Looking forward to having that chat, and you definitely do not want to miss this. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of Wall Streets. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel and slam your head in disbelief and frustration onto the like button. Seemed like we were risk on, seemed like things were going well, seemed like Bitcoin was going up, seemed like altcoins were going up, and then all of a sudden a blood feud emerged between SBF and CZ. I don't know, man. Mess with the bull, you get the horns, right? It seems like pissing off the two biggest whales in the crypto space is probably a pretty bad idea for our community, but here we are, right? Seemingly in this space, you can go from hero to zero and back to hero in a matter of minutes. SBF, obviously, everybody's champion for a very long time until the regulation story came out and people started to believe that he was flooding other exchanges and participating in regulation that only benefited FTX and that he was against DeFi. I don't know that those things are true, right? People used to say a lot of similar things about CZ. Now CZ obviously is the champion here. But what we do know for a very large fact is that Binance incubated FTX starting in 2019. They were a big part of FTX's success. CZ obviously feels either betrayed or angry about something, and they're selling off all their FTT, a couple $1 billion worth of the token. Since then, we've seen allegations that FTX is halting withdrawals. I don't know if that's true. I actually had a couple this morning that I put through, but they usually take a couple days, so I won't even know. And I saw some complete rumor that I can't see any evidence of, that they reduced their withdrawal limit to $1,000. I literally saw it in the comments here, went to look, and it's a bunch of spam posts that all look the same. Either way. Stock's kind of looking fine. It's election day. You would think it would be a huge day for the markets with some optimism, but instead we get this shit. If you want my thoughts on it, you can just read today's newsletter. Obviously, guys, it's free. Just go read it. I wrote about it quite a bit and tried to separate fact from fiction, but that has become increasingly difficult in this space. I am personally not at the moment concerned about FTX being insolvent. I mean, they showed, even that article showed 16 billion in Alameda assets. They said they had 26 billion. That seems a far away from being insolvent, and that's not even FTX exchange. Seems like people are conflating a lot of things and putting 2 and 2 together to make 7 or 8. Either way, I have an amazing guest today, and it's Trader Tuesday, so we're going to talk about trading, and we're going to ignore largely all of this FUD and nonsense. The reason we were a bit late is we were having some technical issues. Hopefully, it'll be a bit less glitchy now, but we will be sharing a whole lot of charts and ideas. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on CryptoISO, although sometimes I just want to call you CryptoISO, but I think it's ISO. Do you call yourself ISO or ISO these days? You know, he and I are actually friends in real life. I'm generally used to referring to him not by a pseudonym.
Are we live right now? I can't tell.
Oh, you're live.
All right,
no, you're on. You're live. You're good.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, you know, people know me in the space. It's no secret. My name is Trip, right? So, but CryptoISO, yeah, that's largely a camera reference, image sensitivity output. So it's not. So that's how it's pronounced, basically. ISO. We'll just leave it.
You can pronounce it however the hell you want, guys. Doesn't matter. Just make sure you're talking about it. So listen, man, the market is a bloody train wreck right now, right? I mean, what do you think is going on here with this complete saga?
It's really unfortunate that, you know, crypto can't get out of its own way with, you know, the squabbles that are occurring right now. Because, like, I largely had the thesis that the market was waiting for this like large sequence of events to pass, right? So we started with FOMC, then we had midterms, and then we had CPI, right? And so like equities actually respond fairly well in regard to a lot of what's been built at them. And now we have, everyone decoupling whatever we want. Bitcoin and Ethereum majors being hammered because two guys are, basically having a contest of like who's the bigger man in the space. It feels like, and it just doesn't.
A pissing contest, and a dick size contest. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there, but
you can go there. That's where we go here, so it's fine. Yeah,
right. And so two of the most prominent, influential people in the space who we can think what we want, but brought forth a lot of the growth and I would say institutional interest from them. Like this just doesn't look good, right? And so if we set all that aside, and the way I like to kind of look at markets and trade is liquidity driven. Like it's interesting that let's just like look at some charts to make it easy, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up your charts. Here we go. Yeah, yes, guys. I know it's a little glitchy, but we should be able to still hear them. But we can definitely see your charts, which is great.
Okay, I'll try to mind the movement of the mouse as much as possible, but we can see on this around this 21K level, right? Like that price was trying to hold, and there were longs up here, right? So it made sense to me to pull back a little bit. The 100-day moving average is kind of around that level up there, which we were trading at, and we basically ran all the way back down to, geez, where did we go? Where did we actually bottom? Like 19.2 or something?
When the recent bottoms, yeah, it looks like right about 19.2 from what I can see here. Actually, 19.366 looks like we're pushing lower right now, but yeah, right around this area. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So
19.3.
It's interesting if you pull Fibonacci's on that, right? Let's just take this chart. I don't know how laggy this is, but
yeah, no, it's good. And if you guys are wondering what he was just looking at, that's from HighBlock. It's a tool he actually taught me about, which shows where the liquidations are to each exchange: 25x, 50x, 100x. So if you're looking for liquidity, that's what you were looking at there.
Yeah, so you can start to kind of see that. Let's see here. This is trying to upload. We came back into like this region right here, right? So it's a demand zone, and now we have, let's call it. I think this. Yeah, okay, you have 13 billion in cumulative short liquidations on Bitcoin right now, right? Like this is a very big drop of the delta from 0.2 billion longs to like this, right? So whenever this feud stops between these guys, like whatever it is, like you have to understand that like there's a significant amount of people off sides right now, right? And so to me, like I think that this is like an area to be constructive on price, even just for a short squeeze, personally, given that the way equities have been holding up, and risk assets alone like aren't really tanking. And so to me, it's like, okay, when is this going to be overdone? Because these are the exhaustion points that I look for. And if I looked at historical cumulative lick deltas in the past, like when we squeezed, one of the CPI prints, there was about 12 billion in shorts that were offsides. Now we're putting 13.2 billion in shorts offsides, right? Let's take a look at ETH and see what that liquidity profile is looking like. And ETH went into that 1400 level. Like these are like Fibonacci retracements on the chart, right? So set everything aside from politics and all this bullshit that's going on and dumb it down to like really what is the chart telling you, and from liquidity. And this is telling me that like shorts are way freaking offsides. And we have 10 billion in shorts on ETH, right? So when the market decides to breathe again and find support, this is something that needs to be cleaned up, Now, does it go to new highs? I don't know, but this is a very tradable bounce in my opinion. The thing about timing these delta reversals, when I say that, it's basically like you have distribution into sellers to the point where you're gonna get, or sellers can't put any low, right? And so you can look at these across a number of vaults too. Like Matic was a really interesting instance. Sushi, these are two things that I watched. Like, let's look at Sushi right now. I'm long this coin right now on the second attempt for hoping.
You literally just longed it like before we went live, right?
158. I longed it last night, and I was like, this is so sketch, because like, who knows if freaking Caroline has a bunch of tuna in her freezer that she's gonna just dump on the market. That's the problem here, because like you're a victim of this battle that creates chain reactions because they're selling assets to defend something. And so, I mean,
so the premise there being that Alameda is selling. I mean, we saw a whole bunch of wallet movement. The premise being that they moved all these other coins to defend to get liquidity to defend FTT.
Okay, yeah, Sushi's moving up now. This is good.
Yeah, Sushi's at 159.8 on Binance right now. 160. Yep. You're doing well.
I played this. So what I did on this was I basically sold the bottom last night. I'm just like, I don't really want to take any more loss on this. I longed like 158, and it went down to basically these licks. I publicly said like, yeah, I'll take a small L on this. Of course it bounces. That's just how the way the market works. So I said, you know what? I'll wait here and see what happens in the morning. And I'm going to measure this to this, and I'm going to try to play the 61.8 Fibonacci low time frame into this liquidity. Because, you know, 120 million in shorts on Sushi, and you know, it's come into basically the daily. Let me see if I found my Sushi chart. Sorry, I'm
You're good. I have one too, if it's necessary.
153, right? So 153 is level that I had, because that is. Anyone use Ichimoku, the daily Kijun, and this is a trending asset to me, and it's been holding trend. And so you really, in my view, you got to take punts around these levels when liquidity is matching up in your favor. And that's what I've been doing. I've been trading Sushi since sub 110, and it's been very good to me. And so, you know, if you start to combine the 13 billion in shorts on BTC, the 10 billion in shorts on ETH, 120 million in shorts on Sushi, risk assets are doing okay. Like, there's a good chance for mean reversion trades to the upside, mainly just to wipe out late shorts. But the goal is to identify the offsides opponent in this game, right? And this is such a liquidity predatory environment that this has served me well, and this is essentially my holding strategy.
I want to bring up I just want to bring up really quick the FTX chart, because holy shit, I don't know if you're watching this.
I'm not, but I long sold yesterday at 31, and there was 420 million in shorts, and the thing went up to like 33 and change. I didn't close it. I was like, I'm gonna play this to 34. I put my stop like just below 31, and was like, shouldn't really go below this. Stopped out, paper cut, fine. But then, like, I went and played paddle tennis and came back, and I was like, holy crap. Like, this is a war.
Joke. Yeah, I mean, you can see right here, the Solana is currently 27.56, but it swept this low and bounced right at 25. So clearly someone's defending that 25 area, but it swept that 25.86 low from June. I mean, this is one of the few assets that's now swept the June low. Like, you're not seeing that right now. So this is clearly something really going on here. I'm going to bring your chart up.
And so there's a lot of fear in the market right now, and rightfully so. But, you know, we've been rewarded to buy fear, not the greed, buying resistance. And so, like, let's just like Sushi right here. Like, this is, I like this. I like what we're doing here. If that was the liquidity run, great, right? Like, then if not, we'll reassess, and there's a good chance it probably takes this liquidity here. But the monthly open, I think, on November, XO is pointing that out the other day, was like 154. There's just a tremendous amount of confluence in the mid 150s to where I've been waiting to kind of get in around this level. And if Bitcoin and Ethereum can start to behave a little bit, you know, like here we are on the Bitcoin chart, we're retesting the 50-day, right? We were above 100. Wanted to look kind of where this is relative to the chart for me. And anyone who knows, who's talked to me about where I thought it should bounce, was like 19.6, because if you pull a fib on, you know, basically your swing points, right? Fine, 61.8 is 19.4, and you're in the 50-day moving average. I think losing these moving averages, probably not good. I wouldn't put so much emphasis on them, but you know, if you want a bear trap, you're setting up for it with liquidity across the board on a lot of things, while risk assets are hanging in there, coming into the midterms historically after those. If we get through CPI and things still seem relatively okay, like I'm a firm believer the equity lows are in for the year. That is,
I agree. I agree.
You know, we 50% Fibonacci whole move, right? And they couldn't get, and the market had dealt with a lot of bad news thrown at it, and it was pretty resilient. You can look at things like forward earnings on like small cap Russell, and like what the multiples are based on historicals when we bottom, like even for the 2008. We're not there so much large cap, but there's signs to where like the market is such a forward-looking mechanism that if it perceives that I wouldn't say the bottom is close, but like local bottoms are close and things are overdone, and you're coming into big macro pivots, FOMC, CPI, midterms being like kind of this large one, and obviously not a common one. So it's like, do you think inflation peaked, or do you not think inflation peaked, right? Are we closer to it peaking than going up like more, or into a bottom per se? I think the market is starting to think that, and the Fed can't do 75 basis points every single meeting, right? And Jerome came out very hawkish, as he should, because the market rallied. But like, if you start to listen to the actual individual Fed officials and the members, like they've hinted towards like it was a bad idea to think it was a pivot, but like maybe just a reassessment of like, let's see what the data is showing us. But we don't really think 75 basis points is something that's going to be coming every single meeting.
Yeah, so I think that's done.
Yeah. So how the market perceives that and essentially trades in front of it, I think is actually what's going on somewhat with risk assets right now. And do we get a Santa Claus rally? I don't know, but I think we can trade up higher into the back half of November after we get through these next events personally. And so it would be great if the billionaires in this space stop doing what they're doing. Like maybe we can participate to the upside with the rest of the assets that seem to be okay.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you for joining. Unfortunately, your connection is kind of glitchy, so we're seeing a lot of people commenting on it. So I'm gonna let you go.
Can you hear me at least?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's kind of in and out. So, it was some great information there. Awesome charts, and we'll definitely get you back when we can get you plugged in more directly, dude. Thank you as always, man. I love people show up for you. They obviously love you. I very much appreciate it. And I'm going to continue on, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Sorry about the connection. We'll get it better next time.
Good. Cool. Well, that wasn't that bad. I could see those rainbow charts are absolutely amazing when you zoom in and dig into them, how accurately they move with the liquidations on 100x, 50x, 25x, 10x, 5x. And as he pointed out, listen, I mean, maybe this is a black swan event and one of those things where things continue down and shorts get paid to be extremely late and aggressive, but that's not usually the case. I can tell you that right now. I mean, listen, we can glance through a few of my charts. Obviously, this is FTX hitting $15, dropping down below it. What's most astounding, obviously, this is the Binance chart, is the volume, right? It's only 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time, meaning we have 10 more hours. I think now the time has changed, 9 or 10 more hours till the daily close. And it's the largest volume by almost double of any day in history on Binance, including the very, very top, right? And that's not that surprising when looking at Binance, when we know for a fact that CZ and their team are selling billions of dollars worth of this token. But I can tell you, I mean, taking a very quick look at Bitcoin's going through these charts, yeah, it doesn't look great, but 4-hour RSI on Bitcoin is already oversold down to 21, right? So when you look at what he's saying about shorts piling up massively, funding changing, if this isn't a black swan event, then this looks like a very likely time to start to see a reversal. Now, if you're me, you're looking for something like this, right? I mean, we all, do I have to draw this again? Right. Looking for oversold, bullish divergence, the RSI on the Bitcoin chart. When we get this oversold, that's what I start to look at. But I mean, I don't think a retrace in general was particularly surprising. I was just hoping that we were going to see an altcoin retrace back to support because Bitcoin went up, not because Bitcoin went down. Now, listen, I see all the comments over here. People are asking, what do you think will happen to the Voyager deal? Well, I haven't seen any evidence that FTX is blowing up yet, so I can't comment on what would happen with the Voyager deal because it's also FTX US and not the main FTX. There's a lot to parse there. I also see people saying that you can't withdraw more than $1,000. I don't see that limit on FTX from what I can see. And I also saw that the block reported that withdrawals have ceased, but that's viewing on-chain data from specific wallets. So I also can't see if that's necessarily true. I can't say it's not. I can't say it is. But, you know, until I see some concrete evidence, once again, which we may see certainly in the coming hours or coming days, anything certainly is possible. I mean, listen, what's interesting here is that the stock market's up. Right. This is the daily chart on the SPY. So we do have, as I mentioned in the intro, that lack of correlation now happening where we're seeing a dump in our market while stocks go up. We saw sideways action while stocks went down. We saw sideways action while Forex absolutely crashed. And we saw Bitcoin and crypto start to pump last week when everything was flat. So if you wanted the markets to decorrelate, we do finally have that right now. So listen, someone's here saying it is true. They stop withdrawals. I can't withdraw. I mean, all I can say is that right before this stream, I put in some withdrawals, not because of this FUD, just because it's an off ramp that I use. And the withdrawals were certainly not blocked. Whether they'll go through will take a couple days to know. But I haven't seen anyone say they literally can't hit the withdraw button on the exchange. But that does not align with what I've seen. But again, I'm using FTX.US, not the main FTX. Have any of you guys actually had an issue, or is this real? I mean, you spelled withdrawal really good. I don't know. Seems dubious at best. Let's take a look through some of the altcoins that we were looking at last week, saying it's on FTX main. So maybe it is true. I cannot deny or confirm. Listen, BNB coming back down to test this area of support, former resistance at support, this red line being the main area. I thought we would bounce around 337, currently sitting at 323. Listen, if this is not a black swan event, you still have the target of this. You still have the golden pocket up here between 61 and 65, and you still have this retest of this whole area of support. Maybe it'll come down to 298, the next support. Hard to know. Hard to know. Matic, listen, Matic, I said, was overextended, was extremely overbought. Now you have bearish divergence here. That's a lower high right there on RSI, clearly a higher high on price. And now we're seeing that retracement. Does it bounce at $1 if it goes there? Fuck, I have no idea. I have no idea. If two of the biggest whales in the market continue to go to war with one another, then all bets are off. But no surprises that we saw altcoins looking overextended and that we were going to see a retrace. Like I said, I was hoping it would be because Bitcoin went up. We see altcoins go down against Bitcoin. Bitcoin stabilizes, whatever. But now we're sort of in an environment where it's a little bit difficult to judge, right? You can't. Charts become pretty meaningless if the biggest whales in the market are being forced to liquidate certain holdings or not. DOT, I was looking for that breakout, barely happened, rejected. What are you going to do here, guys? What are you going to do? Yeah. What are you going to do? Just relax, people, like a bunch of animals, go away for a few days. I have to agree with that. Yeah. Cloud Casino saying I was able to withdraw from FTX US as of yesterday. I don't have anything left on it to test. This is one of those self-fulfilling prophecy type situations. Maybe. I don't think that there's going to be a liquidity crisis necessarily at FTX. I have no idea. It could, it couldn't. Show me the proof. Yeah. Show me the proof. Right? But the more FUD, the more stories about it, the more aggressive people get, the more people withdraw their money in fear, and the more that creates that bank run. And that seemingly is what looks like it could be happening right now. But I don't think that they have a liquidity crisis. Sly Fernandez asked, what about the erection today? As I said on Twitter, there's a huge erection happening in the United States today. Did I spell that wrong? Big erection. Big erection. Big erection. Going to be very hard to determine which side is going to win. You guys can make a lot of jokes about erections now if you'd like, but it's a huge erection. A lot of people are saying this is the biggest erection that we've ever had in the United States. Yeah. Really huge. Black Swan event are the best for buying. That might be actually true. Yeah. I didn't withdraw from with Celsius when there was smoke and I got charged. Listen, I talked about this in the newsletter today, right? We have this problem that's justified. I'm not saying it's unjustified, but at the moment, I think all of us who are involved, even if you're just in the market and seeing the result, we have PTSD from Celsius, Voyager, certainly from Luna, from what happened with 3 Arrows Capital. So now the minute we see any smoke, even if that smoke is blowing out of someone's ass and there's not actually a fire, if we see smoke, people are going to be extremely inclined to panic because they want to be the first money out, not the last, because a lot of people were not the first money out in those previous situations where things became illiquid and then withdrawals. So it causes this unnecessary sort of fear and people rushing to the exits. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe not. I don't think that Sam Bankman-Fried is Alex Mashinsky, to be quite honest. I'm looking at your comments over here. In my opinion, I think we've bottomed. Michael, I think so too, man. I mean, look, Trip took that sushi trade at 158. Here it is at 161. Bitcoin, I mean, it's 19,445. It's been around 19,700, 19,800. I mean, that's a marginal difference. ETH, little bounce. But ETH, listen, like another one, right? I said, listen, ETH had looked great coming off of here. We had the bullish divergence that was down here, which I'm not showing. And I said, listen, man, a lot of these are going to make the move from the 50 to the 200 MA, and then we'll see. Rejected there, coming back down to the 50 as a retest. I think Bitcoin is right around the 50 MA at the moment as well. Breaking below, but that 19,666 level right here, that was the highs of 2017. Also exactly where the 50 MA is and is flattening out. We want to see the daily close above that red line. And that blue line that happens to be 69ing with the red line. They're making out right now, doing whatever they do, right? Yeah. J-Max says SBF is still bad for crypto. I don't know about that, man. I don't necessarily agree with that. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. But yeah, a lot of people, here we go. It's what else do you guys got here? Someone was talking about Arthur, that Arthur bought some puts for 15K Bitcoin. Now I can't find it because the things are going here. Yeah, I mean, Arthur, he's a good trader. He's been wrong a lot too. Write a 10,000 word blog post on $20,000 Ethereum or whatever. And here we are at like 1,600. I don't disagree with what he's saying, but what one person does as a trade should not influence yours, right? Marco says any exchange full of shit coins is bad for crypto. I think that that's your opinion. You can revise that to any exchange full of shit coins is bad for Bitcoin, maybe, or shouldn't affect Bitcoin at all. But it seems that the maximalists are more concerned with seeing everything burn so that Bitcoin can be the only asset in the world. Whether that's how you feel or not, I don't know. But for people who want to trade crypto, I don't know. It's a free market. I don't understand. It's bad for crypto, but there is no crypto unless you can trade these assets. I don't know. Seems kind of strange. Yeah. That's like your opinion, man, says Chris. Yeah. Not your keys, not your coins, dummies. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to contribute to a bank run, but if you're concerned, there's a really obvious answer here. Leave the coins you're trading on exchanges if you're actively trading, and the rest of it just put into self-custody until you're ready to buy, sell, or trade around it. Pretty easy. Yeah. Crypto people are funny, switch opinion like underpants. People switch underpants? Like how often? I don't know. We need more cold storage education. Yeah, we do. You want to know why, Slugworth? You want to know why we need more cold storage education? Because a lot of people put their coins in cold storage, don't know how to store their keys, and they become the single point of failure and lose their coins. I fully believe exactly what you're saying. I fully believe in cold storage, but I think that most people don't take the time to actually understand how difficult it is to be your own bank and probably end up wrecking themselves. Fucked if they stay on the exchange, kind of screwed if they go off and put it in cold storage and then absolutely accidentally use their private keys as toilet paper or their dog eats it. Right? Yeah. So it's really hard there for me sometimes to differentiate. People still saying withdrawals paused. All I've seen is the Block article based on a couple wallets. Pretty compelling, but I don't know if it's actually the case. But listen, I mean, I think that either way, it doesn't mean they don't have the liquidity if withdrawals are paused, just to be clear. Probably means there's a bottleneck and they can't service that many withdrawals at once and, need to slow things down. Either way, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy to some degree, right? If they pause withdrawals, more people panic. They try to withdraw to see if you can withdraw, and then there's more withdrawals, and there's a bigger bottleneck, and then there's more money that needs to come out, and oh my God. Oh my God. As Chris says here, generally people don't want to be their own bank, just like they don't want to be their own security. That's right. 100% true. Is software wallet storage safe? I'm not even sure what a software wallet is. You mean like a hard wallet? MetaMask, something like that? I don't know. Yeah. Can we look at H bar? Let's do that. I don't want to talk about this shit much more. So let's look at a couple charts. Let's see. Where are you, H bar? Here we go. Well, I don't know. That's bad. Look at that crappy drawing that I did. That broke that range pretty aggressively. Actually, there's nothing really wrong with that drawing. It just broke down, right? Here is that was the range that was trading in until the crash in June. None of that's relevant now today. All right, let's see what lines we got here. Well, I still fully agree with this one, right? This is the highs from 2020. A lot of interest here, and that was the top of this local move after the bounce in June. I think we can obviously just pull it like this. Just not even pay attention to history because YOLO. Right here. Wow, we're seeing actually a few coins here that are breaking that June low. You go back to Bitcoin, it's nowhere really near it, right? That was at 17,500. I come back here to H bar, we saw it on FTX, a few tokens. This is actually just put in a brand new fresh low since early 21. Now, that's not great, right? But what's the good news there? Well, if this closes above, this is a very clear, very clear sweep of liquidity. If you see a close back in the range, which it's very, very close to doing, like let's say the daily, if there's a close above 0.0549, we're currently at 0.0548. Let's call it 0.0550 to be 5.5 cents to be safe. Well, this is where I am going to agree with Tripp's assessment and how he's viewing this market. This is where I'm not saying it's going to go up, but I'm saying if you're a trader and you're looking for opportunity and you want to be able to have a relatively tight stop and invalidation, the bottom of this range is where you get long. Now, the problem is a lot of people probably had a sitting order there. This is how liquidity is created, right? We talk about bullish SFPs, bearish SFPs. If this closes above, this would be a bullish swing failure pattern, SFP. What does that mean? There it is, right there. Trading right at the lows of the range right there. It means that whales push price down to find liquidity so they can buy. That's right. The sellers become the buyers because they know there's liquidity. Why is there liquidity? Well, if you want to buy and you can't buy enough, then you need a shit ton of sell orders, right? And what are sell orders? In this case, shorts. So anyone who's trying to short the breakdown right there, shorted that, that's a sell order to fill liquidity. And also stop losses, right? If you had a long and you were here, your natural stop is right down in here, maybe as far down as this wick. That's why they push further down. They want to sweep all of those stops. You've heard that, sweeping stops. If you're long and you stop out, that becomes a sell order. So you have all this liquidity in a very obvious area where people are going to be forced to sell or is going to trigger standing sell orders, which gives you liquidity for a buy. Long-winded way of saying sweep the lows. Sweep the lows, Johnny. Right? So like, I think that this is a real area of interest down here. Right? And so you take a look, they went like 5% below the lows to sweep. So there are people who probably maybe they got long up in here and were like, I'm going to stop out, but I'm going to give it a few percent. And they put their stop right here and get swept. Right? So I'm going to bet that we can look at this. Let's take a look at RSI on this. Wow. Interestingly, not even oversold here on the daily. Wasn't even oversold when it bottomed in July. That was actually July, this bottom, but there was massive bullish divergence, as you can see. Right now, kind of just heading down. Maybe lower time frames, oversold, but not massively. I mean, Bitcoin is more oversold than some of these altcoins, which is really interesting. Bitcoin more oversold than some of these altcoins. So yeah, that's the summary of HBAR. I mean, if you're looking for a position, I'm not telling you financial advice. I ain't doing it. I'm just saying, technically looking at it, it's a pretty decent place to punt along with a tight stop right below. You would be invalidated, I would say, below the lows here. So giving it a little room below those lows. I ain't doing it, man. Ain't doing it. Not doing any of this right now. Just so you know. Just so you know. What else do we got? Algo is nowhere near its June low. It's looking strong. I mean, that's, I'll look at algo, but we looked at sushi, like June lows are down at 86 cents. It's trading twice that, right? So you can tell what's had relative strength. To his point, he said, Tripp said this is kind of in an uptrend. Well, you can see it's trading double its lows while certain coins are sweeping those lows, right? Maybe that's time for them to turn. I mean, just looking at algo outright right now, yeah, you got to like this. This looks like Matic, right? You could draw the line here, to be quite honest, but I viewed the range as this low to this high. So this just being sort of an accent above. But look, you got the 50 MA pushing up, support at 200 MA, and support at 37.75. Yeah, you can't dislike that. With increasing volume, yes, that increasing volume is now on the sell side. But in general, you've had to move up on increasing volume. It's hard to judge this one day. Now, if this drops massively, you have a huge sell candle, breaks below those supports, easy invalidation once again. A lot of FUD around Hex. Thoughts? I don't have thoughts because I haven't dug into it, and I'm not going to go ahead and conjecture. Maybe I'll dig into that. I looked at DOT a second ago. Here it is. I thought it was going to break out, and it didn't, and got pleasantly trolled for it on Twitter. Because if you post an idea on Twitter about what's going to happen in the future and you're wrong, then you get blocked and hated on. But listen, I mean, that's where DOT should have, if you took even this line out of it, which I won't, the blue line, but this is, you get the move out, come back and retest it, and that's where you should find liquidity. I don't know. Yeah. Why do I have a sense punting on FTT is the play, yet I won't do it? Because there's so many things in the world to trade, you don't need to buy this one. I know it's tempting because it's what everyone's talking about. It's where all the volume is, but it's gambling. Like this chart, in my opinion, of FTT is not going to tell us what's happening. The only thing that I can see that's clearly happening from this chart is literally ignore all of this and see the selling volume. I don't know. Doesn't look like I want to jump into that right now. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about Arthur briefly already. That's fine. Arthur's right a lot. He's also wrong a lot because he's a human person. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, someone was asking about Pyre. Well, I liked it. Vulcan Forge, clear breakout. Listen, diagonals don't work sometimes. Shocking. But got above the 50 and the 200 MA with a golden cross potentially coming, and then dumped through both today. Clearly, I think right now people are panicking and selling shit. Now, the question to parse will be, are they justified and are they getting ahead of this, or is it an opportunity to buy? I'm just going to watch, man, because I have no freaking idea. There's elections today, and I don't know. It's kind of sunny outside. Actually, there's a hurricane coming to Florida. Not only is a hurricane coming, it was projected to go across the state and then come back and hit us twice. That should have been a sign, right? What about VET? Man, I haven't looked at that in God knows how long. Take a quick look. I don't know. Not much to see here. There's another, well, that was actually did make the move. So let me see. These are old ass lines, so let's just ignore them. I would put this here. I mean, again, look, forget all this shit, right? Bottomed out in June. Put in a high here, which obviously, right? Like, listen, if you were trading this up to here from the lows, you know, couldn't be more obvious. Doesn't mean it's going to stop, but there was going to be extreme resistance here, right? Because that's where you had all that consolidation. You run into all those standing orders, people who maybe bought and are interested in getting out, people who are underwater interested in getting out. This to me is just sideways, choppy, disgusting ranginess. Like, I don't see any reason to get involved in this. If you're an investor and you believe in it long term, I think everything's on sale right now. Like, call me in 3 years, I bet prices will be much higher than they are today. Yeah. Let me see what else we got here. Should I withdraw my cash position from my Binance wallet? I can't tell you that. That's up to you. I mean, a week ago, not a single person on earth would have told you to do anything with any of these exchanges. Now we're in full panic mode. Yeah, you got to love those November hurricanes that aren't supposed to happen ever. Scott, Chainlink. Black Diamond off the grid. Okay. And all the charts are going to be ugly right now, though, right? There's a Coinbase USD chart, I believe. Same shit. Same shit. Look. Right? And this is why I've kept saying, man, and I even said it in the newsletter this morning. Yeah, I shared some altcoin charts finally last week. And, you know, now they're all like kind of dumping a little bit. It's like in a sideways market with no clear trend. This is not a trending market. TA works best in a trending market, obviously. But like, you're just going to get chopped up. Share a chart, it goes over a line, it breaks down. FTX going down, institutions will lose trust. Yeah, no, I mean, nobody should be cheering for that shit. Right? But this is in a range, right? At least it's closer to the range highs. But like, if you were trading this, you know, maybe you wait till you actually break above. That doesn't mean it's going to work. Sushi did the same shit, right? Sushi was in this massive range, broke above, and hard to, in my eyes, to trade this market with much confidence at the moment. Yeah, it's a turn the laptop off and sit by the beach day. It all literally looks the same right now. That is correct. That is correct. I'm sure you guys saw that library credits, LBRY library, coin LRC, is that right? Anyways, that they lost their case with the SEC. Pretty negative implications there for things being deemed as securities. That happened yesterday. Just kind of a lot of bad news and FUD hitting the market right now. Hate to see it. But listen, FTT is it's dumping. I can't imagine saying, hey, you know what I need to do right now? Buy this. Not saying you wouldn't be rewarded, but that is, you hit that Powerball. That's a lottery ticket. Now, if there's a next logical place, it's going to be 1084. Why? Because that was the high of that 2021 January move and the perfect support here when it came back to retest. This is, if you want to know, in a trending market where everything isn't sideways, and the ideas that I'm sharing with you, this is a perfect long. Like, if we're in a good market where things could actually pop off and resolve themselves, you have this break. That's the liquidity grab, dump, break of resistance, retest perfectly as support, and rock it up. That's what you should be seeing if all charts worked. Clearly not the case right now. But holy man, listen, this is. And I was concerned about FTT way back here. I charted it for someone and said, and I even circled that area and said, that's an ugly candle into resistance, double resistance, descending and horizontal, right? And when it broke here, retested, pretty clear downtrend. Didn't mean that you would see 1470 coming. To me, that meant we'd probably see $21 coming. You know, and that 21, 22 area, 21.92. So 22, that's the area a lot of people have been talking about. That clearly broke. Question is, what's going to happen moving forward? And man, hard to guess. Hard to guess. Black Swan all consolidating on election day. Yeah, really exciting, huh? Really exciting. Solana, you guys have very mixed feelings on Solana. I can see in the comments, but all this great news last week and then caught in the middle of a gunfight. Yeah. He's sad about it. Feel you. Tony says it'll go down. Sean says it'll go down and price. Then we got some people that asking if Sol will go down. Man, I don't know. Why are you trying to sell FTX? Don't get burned. Sell this shit and buy it way cheaper. I'm not selling it. I think you meant buy. Sorry. Yeah, I think you meant buy. That's why. eGold, if possible. I haven't looked at it in a while. eGold just had their big conference in Paris. They rebranded. Actually, Benjamin sent me a message today. That I know that they are like rebranding as Multiverse X or something like that. So they have a lot going on there. Once again, I mean, yeah, that's a key level we're consolidating around. Did have the breakout here of eGold, retest, and now we're just kind of ranging. But let's go, you guys, and listen, full transparency. I own this coin. I don't own any of the other ones we're looking at. I don't think. Matic I own, BNB I own. But I'm not selling it. So I've held it from when it was ERD before it was eGold at 15 sats, went to 300. We sold some, bought some more. You guys remember. Bought this when it was $10 way down here on this, right? You guys were here. Bought that breakout on this rounding bottom when it became eGold. The rest is history. But yeah, this is just trending sideways. It is right here at the EQ of this range, which is a kind of a nice spot. But risky. Everything's risky. How many times eGold rebrand? A lot. A lot. Yeah. Yeah, you know, Moonvember not going that great. Newest to this channel, coming from NFT side. Any thoughts on ape or is that forbidden to talk about? Nothing's forbidden to talk about. Not on the chart days. I'll chart anything for you guys. You know, fine. Let's go on the daily. All kinds of old chart things going on up here. I don't know. I mean, yet again, it's just like, what? How are you going to get excited about this? Nothing wrong with it. But here, you know, you got this. This is where you bottomed. This is where it topped. And now you're trading under the 50 MA, under the freshly minted 200 MA. You need 200 days, 200 candles to get that, and trading in the bottom half. So, I mean, this looks like you would want it to do what H-bar does, right? You would want one of these, right? See that? H-bar trading below, something like that. I'm not saying it looks bad. It's trading sideways, but I certainly don't see a reason to buy it today at $4.20 if you're looking at the chart. Yeah. I don't know. Remember when that guy made 200K on your non-financial advice on Phantom in 2018? That was you, Luke, wasn't it? Yeah, we had some good Phantom ideas there. Who's this guy? Are you talking about me? You're on my channel. Scott. Nice to meet you. I don't censor, but I definitely like stay away from talking about lower cap stuff when possible. If one of you like blatantly asks me to chart something, sure. Market is so dead. We need more death for entertainment's sake. I mean, we could talk about the liquidator. I brought my liquidator. I'm going to send one of these over to CZ as a gift. It's a water gun, but also works for liquidating your financial future. Dude, FTT, this is like a slow motion train wreck. Really ugly. Fucking hideous. Remember when he said they were going to sell over months? Maybe that triggered everyone else to sell their FTT, and that's not what's happening here. But it's crazy when someone tells you what they're going to do and then they actually do it in this space. It's weird, I know. It makes people uncomfortable. Yeah. Got to butts out the liquidator. And it is liquefier, LOL. So anyone who's been here a while remembers who's been on my streams. There was this one time that a good dude said something about getting liquefied, and we all like died laughing. Yeah. Jeremy McGinn wants to know, what are the 10 crypt commandments? Well, there's number 4. I know you heard this before. Never get high on your own supply. Number 5, never. I don't care if they want to ounce, tell them bounce. Biggie reference. Yeah, the 10 crack commandments. Remove the O from crypto. We're just in the crypt. That's right. I don't want you guys to get liquefied. Luke says, Scott, could you recap on what triggered this FTX situation? My newsletter is free. You can read it. But here's the very, very quick TLDR. Okay. Binance was an incubated FTX. They gave them a huge investment in 2019, helped to build them CZ, SPF, Super Friends. They were like the Power Rangers of crypto, right? Of late, there was a lot of rumor that Sam was in Washington lobbying with the government, regulators in the interest of FTX, and that might have been against the interests of Binance. All unsubstantiated, whatever. But Sam obviously did have his opinions on DeFi that a lot of people took issue with, and so people started to look less kindly on Sam. Happens quickly in this community, whether justified or not. Then last week, I think it was CoinDesk did an article talking about the blurred lines between Alameda Research, which Sam Bankman-Fried owns, and FTX, which Sam Bankman-Fried owns. 16 billion on the balance sheet of Alameda. By the way, I've never seen the balance sheet of a hedge fund in my life. That's unique. Hedge funds just say, hey, we're up 20, we're down 20%, we're up 30, we're down 30, we're up 5, we're done. I've never seen them share their balance sheet. Anyways, so then Caroline from Alameda said, no, we actually have like 26 million. This is incomplete picture, yada, 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 yada. But anyways, it started a big panic that so much of Alameda's assets were an FTT token that there was this blurred line between Alameda and FTX, and that if shit went bad for FTT, that could cause insolvency in both. Rumor, not fact, but enough to spur some things. And perhaps you can conjecture as to why. I take it at face value. Then we saw a huge movement, over $500 million of FTT tokens from an unknown wallet into Binance. A day later, CZ confirmed that was Binance doing that they were selling their unlocked tokens, which is all of them from last year. They've been holding that long because of things that came to light. I don't want to quote him exactly, but he alluded to some scary things like Luna and such. But basically said, yeah, we're done with this. You can think that he did it because he was being vicious, took the opportunity to take out a competitor or to show who's the boss. You can think that he was just wanted liquidity. You can decide however you want. But he basically said, we are going to, over the next few months, sell off our entire position, which is billions of dollars, right? And so that's what led us here. Then everyone says, holy shit, FTX is insolvent, even though they're clearly not. They had 26 billion. But all it takes is that was Alameda. All it takes is for people to say it, and then people start running for the doors. The FUD goes out of control, and you have a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's it. SBF even then tweeted, hey, man, I'd love to work with you, CZ. Like, hey, man, come on. That's the gist. That's the gist. Yeah. And people said Alameda's largely holding illiquid tokens, but illiquid tokens are still assets on a balance sheet. Yeah. So, and then people are then saying that they're using shitcoins basically to take loans and prop up the whole thing, and it's whatever. But I haven't seen much evidence of all of that. All I know is that this isn't great for us. It's not great for what regulators are seeing. It's not great for institutions. It's just yet another shit show where we are all punching ourselves in the nutsack. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. So there you go. How do you know FTX is not insolvent? Sam shared the balance sheet. How do you know FTX is insolvent? It's that works both ways. Like, I'm not saying they're not insolvent. I'm saying show me that they're insolvent. You can't just say shit like that. That's my point. Anyways, Binance might not even sell anything. Scare everyone else into selling, then buy some more. Or maybe FTX and Binance are both in on this. This is my conspiracy theory. Bottom line, your theory is as good as anyone else's. Yeah. I don't know, man. Any thoughts on Coinbase stock? I don't know. Let's take a look at that shit show. Heavy bags that Scott Melker owns. Being fully transparent, wouldn't want to move the market on Coinbase. I own Coinbase stock. Yeah, I don't have any thoughts. I think crypto is getting rocked today. Coinbase is a beta trade on crypto. Just getting rocked. We're just getting rocked. They're rocking our shit. All on election day. Supposed to be a big erection today. That's what we were supposed to be talking about. Yet we have Bitcoin at 20 RSI on 4-hour chart. To give you some context, guys, that's pretty low. Pretty low. I mean, we've been here a lot of times. Don't get me wrong. Oh, man. I hit the wrong thing. That's a line from a different time frame. But even in June, well, it got down to 12. But, you know, I told you, go oversold, overbought, overbought, oversold, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah. You voted. Good job, Matt. Did you puke when you voted? I puked in my mouth a little bit when I voted. FTX admin is proving they're insolvent by staying quiet. That's just not true. Scott, it's not a theory. No hopium, please. What's not a theory? That they're insolvent? Show me the evidence. I'm not saying they're not. Just show me some evidence. That's fucking ridiculous. And it's just crypto because the DXY is dropping pretty hard at the moment on the hourly time frame. That's right. The dollar's dropping. That means crypto should be going up. But like I said, they're not correlated anymore. Sad. Here's the DXY. He's talking about the hourly. Well, this is the weekly, and we're about to put in lows from this entire move up past 109, which basically we're about to put in the lows since mid-September on DXY if it breaks below 109.53. So yeah, we should be going up. Fun, right? Fun. Super fun. Super fun for super friends. Holy shit, guys, it's like 10:40. I gotta go. Hey, man, today's a frustrating day. I don't know what to tell you. We had some glitchy streaming things going on earlier. I didn't really want to talk about news. Had to do it. That's what it is. This dude, I think, was saying last shakeout, but said last Shakur. I don't know. Was Tupac the last Shakur? Or the Shakurs after? I don't even know. Go vote, people, says Drew. Yeah, go vote. Go vote. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hurricane shutters up. It'll just rain. Thanks for showing up, of course. Have fun staying poor. Love you guys. See you. I saw a love you comment. Love you too. Victoria, we've missed you as well here. Matt needs a beer. Don't blame you. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be here, of course. Tomorrow should be fun. Tomorrow's going to be great because we're going to talk about on-chain with Lucas Otomoro from Into the Block. He's great. So we should be able to get some real insight into what's happening with FTX on chain. Mike, I know you're listening. Hit up Lucas and tell him that's what we want to talk about. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to talk about on-chain. We'll dig in deep into what's actually happening with these wallets, this movement, exchange inflows. We had massive inflows into exchanges of Bitcoin yesterday. A lot going on. And of course, CPI tomorrow. Fuck my life. Scott, signing up now for BitGet, though link or better wait, as that might be prerequisite for the Discord. If it is a prerequisite for the Discord, which it would just be a sign up, no, you won't have to do anything, then it will count that you've already done it. So that's fine. Doesn't matter. Anyways, guys, that is all that I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. We had a pretty big audience today. ISO brings the crowds, and so do just shitty days in the market, man. Shitty days in the market. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. We'll be back tomorrow, and it's going to be awesome. Don't miss it. Let's get together tomorrow. Bye.
That's dope.